Hello, my amazing artists. In this video, we will be focusing on positive and negative space in our artwork. So one option is you could have your paper vertical. So when it is long on the sides, short on the top and the bottom, fold it in half, and then you're going to draw half of an object. I'm going to use some organic lines to draw half of an insect. This is an insect I'm making up. It's not real. So I'm just really having fun creating a cool, unique shape. Okay, another option is to have your paper horizontal. That is where it's long on the top and bottom and short on the sides. Fold that in half, and then you have the option to draw half of whatever you would like. I'm staying with an insect theme, so I'm going to draw half of a butterfly. I am drawing contour lines. These are lines that are the outside edges of a shape. So I'm not adding any details. Okay, now you want to keep your paper folded. It's so that the folded edge is in the middle. And with the paper folded, you're going to cut on the pencil lines that you drew. After you finish cutting, unfold, and on that crease, you're gonna cut it. So now we've just split that little bug in half. And you're gonna do the same thing for the background or what you cut away from. Split that in half. Alrighty, now we're going to add a background. An option is you could use a piece of paper that is already painted. This piece represents the negative space because my eye goes to the colorful background. And then this piece on the right represents the positive space because my eye goes to the black silhouette of the bug. So play around, choose what you would like to do for your background. Once you have decided what you would like to use, then we need to glue our pieces on top of the background. This is a great way to practice creating collages. I am using liquid glue here because I really want the paper to bind to the paper background, and that's going to make sure that all the edges stay nice and flat. It is important to take your fingers and massage the paper down. That's going to make sure that there are no bumps or edges that are sticking up. Alrighty, then you're gonna glue the other piece on to the other side. So line up the edges so that it creates the full image of your subject. Then flip it over, and this is when you can start to massage your paper. It's just going to make sure that it is glued and it looks amazing. Another idea I have is maybe you want to create some texture for the background. So you could use one of the texture plates and do a crayon rubbing for your background. Then to add another layer of something interesting, we could put some watercolor on top of the crayon. Now, because water and crayon do not mix, this is going to create a crayon resist. See how the watercolor is bubbling up on top of the crayon? That's because they don't like to mix. So it just creates a really cool effect, and it might be something you want to experiment with today. And then if you are painting, you will need to let it dry. It is watercolor, so it dries pretty quickly. The water evaporates quickly, leaving your paper dry. But then we will need to glue. It's important to line up the edges of the black paper with the edges of your background. This is just going to make it really neat and look very nice. And then, of course, glue your other piece. You want to make sure you line that up too. And use your fingers to push down the paper so that it's laying nice and flat. Okay, if you flip it over, my black paper is a little bigger than the white paper. So I'm really just going to cut away that little piece that is hanging over. I could also cut away that little piece of the black wing, but I'm just going to keep it. I kind of like it. So lots of choices here, but the whole point of today's lesson is to focus on how you can use positive and negative space to create a really interesting piece of artwork.